I asked Grok how much would the price need to be per XRP to pay off the US debt. It provided me a total supply and circulating supply prices. This means the price would need to reach $350 per XRP. Note, this uses the total supply for a full valuation. The circulating supply is lower at 60 billion coins, which would imply a higher price of 583. Okay, well, we get the point. It's not that far out of the reach if XRP and this whole shebang is actually what we calculated as being, and being very important to this whole transition. If it achieves its role, which I think it has a strong possibility of doing, that's just me. I'm not saying this within the next year or two, but if we're spanning out 10 to 15 years, I think 15, you could definitely see that. 10, I don't know, man. Anything could happen, because that's the thing. If it's going to succeed, it's going to succeed. You know, it either is going for the throat of everything or it's not, and then it just fizzles out and dies. Because yet again, you think back to a lot of these old projects, granted it's not apples to apples with XRP and Ripple and what the hell they're doing, but dude, how many projects that were close to the top just a handful of years ago? Remember Dash? Monero was huge. There was so many other ones that were around the top, and then just no more. Tron, I think Tron still sits somewhere up top. But there's just so many tokens and projects that just fizzled out and died. Litecoin's fucking crazy, that the fact they're even giving ETFs to that thing still. But yeah, realistically, I'm thinking, I said it before, I'm super conservative about this crap. I think I said it in one of the recent videos. By July of next year, July 1st, I think I'm seeing around like a $14 XRP. Something in my bones. Here we go from our boy Marty Schwartz, GuitarJams.com, David Joelcats. Remember, it can't be dirt cheap. What did David say? This was a while ago, 2017, bro. In reply to, the post was deleted by the author. Yo, these people are mad fucking annoying. But this is in regards to XRP. He goes, it can't be dirt cheap. That doesn't make any sense. If XRP costs $1, they need 1 million XRP, which would cost $1 million. If XRP costs $1 million, they need 1 XRP, which would again cost $1 million. So a higher price means you don't need as many of them. But yet again, when this inevitable supply shock, at least a moment, maybe it's not like a permanent supply shock, but when it catches wind that, I mean, dude, Ripple, Evernorth, that treasury alone, we're going to see the rise of the XRP treasuries. Now, the DATs, I like that name, that acronym. The rise of those is now. Dude, winter is coming, bro. It really is. This is our fucking moment. The spot ETFs, the digital asset treasuries, the fucking Clarity Act. What else is there? Ripple's stablecoin making moves, all their acquisitions making moves. It's at the center of it, or at least a fucking hefty part of the utility belt for Ripple's suite of products. We haven't even had the FOMO yet. When this next bull run happens and people see XRP's price, because yet again, whether people like it or not, there's a lot of fights that go on Twitter from the Bitcoin maxis and the other side, XRP maxis, whatever you want to call them. When this thing starts flowing for its intended use cases, man, there's only so much on the public exchanges. I don't know if people are necessarily taking that into account. There's only so much in circulation for us plebs, dude. Us ordinary folk, there's only so much. It doesn't seem like there's any constraint right now because this hasn't happened yet. But we are insanely early to this space still. It doesn't seem like it. You got to remind yourself that. But then, yeah, if people just hopped in like 2 years ago or so, let me know when you guys started like getting into this industry, or around the time maybe you started first investing, because I'm always curious when people got into this. I assume if this is the XRP army, you've probably been in for a long time, but let me know. With Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road finalized, it's finally time to supercharge XRP's utility. Documented. Strategic motivations. For Ripple, this is a bold move to expand from being primarily a cross-border payments and crypto liquidity provider into a full-scale institutional finance player. Ripple Bank, coming to a city near you soon, to hedge funds and financial institutions. This could supercharge XRP's utility as well. That's what we're hoping. In fact, Hidden Road plans to migrate its post-trade clearing onto XRPL, showcasing the blockchain's ability to handle high-volume institutional flows. No downtime. Since the creation of it, no downtime. You talk about a proven product, it's the XRP ledger. It's fucking insane. People still try to fight it. The launch of Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF ticker, the first multi-asset crypto fund in the US, that launched October 24th, the front of the NY. That was 2 days ago? That was 2 days ago already? So much happens in this industry that like even important things just get flooded to the bottom, which is crazy. You think you're caught up, but you never are. That's why I started doing these videos. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, notification. Helps the channel out. I started a Patreon, posted my first exclusive video up there going about how the Bitcoin maxis intentionally lying about XRP not being the most profitable large cap asset in the last 12 months. Just in, U.S. Secretary Scott Bessent says China is ready to make a trade deal which would remove President Trump's 100% tariff on November 1st. We got to stay, as Captain Price says, dude, we got to stay really frosty out here because this has been such crazy market manipulation, toying with the markets, like the guy with the fishing rod in the Geico commercial. Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that. He's literally been doing that to us nonstop since he's got in. So what I'm thinking is, even though we are approaching the time frame of when November historically is really good, dude, 1 year ago from today, you look around November 5th, bang, it goes up. We got this catalyst of this tariff deal going through, along with the Fed rate cut, which it's kind of confirmed there will be at least 2 more rate cuts. And if they pull something out of their ass, I don't think they will, of being a 50-point cut or something like that, and they surprise the market, along with this, we would be so off to the races, it's insane. But with the government shutdown still going on, I keep forgetting it's going on because it doesn't affect our lives really at all. Well, you gotta have empathy. It's affecting some people, but I think the average kind of person like me and you, I mean, I don't think you even fucking notice, because that's the thing. The government doesn't stop running. This is all a fucking theater, in a sense. Like, there's still divisions out there getting shit done. They're just not gonna stop. Like, when we're talking about, yet again, the transitioning of the financial system and building the new rails and all that economics that go behind that, that does not stop because of the government shutdown. There's things in the government shutdown that probably do. Like, there's some bullshit about, like, defunding national park rangers and shit like that. Why? Like, cut the bloat out of the bullshit. Like, there's definitely some fucking IRS secretary somewhere making fucking $100,000 for literally doing nothing. Like, those types of bullshit, get them out. This could be a giant rug, and this could be the last, I think, the last leg down. And then we go higher from here. Because when they delayed the XRP spot ETFs, I think they pushed them out to around November 15th, mid-November. That would give us enough time if they wanted to rug us one last, I guess rug isn't the right term. I guess if they wanted to bend us over for one last massive spike down, and then we go up from there, that would give them enough time, I think, in between. We thought that $19 billion liquidation flash crash was the last one, but I'm wondering if it's some bullshit like this, because I can definitely see it. I could see it. I don't want to see it, but I could see it. Because the Fed rate cut, like, that's going to go through. That's really good for market. And usually that would set the market on fire, but to counterbalance it, if they wanted to, he could be like, oh, we went to the table. They're being crazy. 100%. Maybe we'll do 25 to start, or they're just going to delay again, like they've been doing for almost a year already. So you just got to stay wary out here. I'm very skeptical always when it comes to the government, because they can think of any way to bend us over one last time. Insight. Tether expects 15 billion in profit this year, up from 13 in 2024. The company is reportedly exploring a 20 billion raise at a $500 billion valuation. That must be nice. Must be nice to start offshore and then never be audited. It's interesting. Like, it's like, why would that be the case? I'm at my stand-in desk, by the way. They're like, what the fuck's this guy doing? I hit my chair, dude. You just gotta ask yourself, why have they never had a proper audit? The thing that solely propped up Bitcoin, and arguably the whole crypto industry, has never had a proper done-in audit. You have to ask why. You have to ask why. I don't care if you're pro Bitcoin or whatever you're pro. You could be pro football. I don't give a fuck. It makes sense Now we know who's allegedly been helping him navigate the crypto manipulation behind the scenes. This is in response to Trump pardoning CZ. I did a video talking about that. That's on the channel too. My initial reactions. I learned a little bit more about this whole scenario since then. CoffeeZilla on his Voidzilla channel had two really surface level videos. You can obviously go deeper, but he does a pretty decent job explaining the connections to everything and why this deal went on. We could tell, like, you don't get a pardon unless there's some sort of you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's the only reason this guy got a pardon. And then he replied to Elizabeth Warren, because Elizabeth Warren, just yet again, is a mental case, dude. CZ pleaded guilty to a criminal money laundering charge and was sentenced to prison. But then he financed President Trump's stablecoin and lobbied for a pardon. Today he got it. If Congress does not stop this kind of corruption, it owns it. Okay, so honestly, now that I'm reading that, because I just saw that they were fighting with each other, she got the fact wrong because he didn't plead to a money laundering charge. But the part about, but then he financed President Trump's stablecoin and lobbied for a pardon. That part's true. So the other side, that's what I mean. Like, bro, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Like, you call bullshit when you see bullshit. I don't know what the fuck everyone's problem is with that. Only person you should be 100% ride or die for is Mickey Mouse. That's it. Readers added context. CZ pleaded guilty to violating the Bank Secrecy Act for failing to implement an effective anti-money laundering program. He did not plead guilty to money laundering. Okay, and yeah, that's true. I understand that. But now, because she said the first sentence, they don't do themselves favors. You spout the first sentence, it's wrong. So no one's going to take you seriously. No one's already taking her serious anymore. She was at the charge of Gary the Fairy's anti-crypto task force. How fucking well did that work out for you guys now? How well did that work out? If Congress does not stop this kind of corruption, it owns it. I'll take Nancy Pelosi's book on stock trading 101 any day of the week. She outperforms fucking Warren Buffett. Dude's sitting there like a crusted up Cheeto, and she's out there making money moves. And then that's what I mean with a sentence like that, immediate back to like, all right, I mean, we can't take you seriously. This is you only want to stop corruption when it's against your corruption. They think we're stupid. They think we are fucking amoebas. Guys, I'm going to continue the last section of this video over on the Patreon. You can find that in the link description below. I'm going to be going into some more stories, but starting with this one, Bitcoin will be the digital monetary base. XRP will be the golden settlement rail. You can see it. I got to poke some holes in this right now. So if you want to join the Minutemen, that's the name of our subdivision of the XRP army, dude. You could do that by, yet again, link in the description. It supports the channel, allows me to do more videos like this, and lets me know that you like them. And that's it. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the Patreon. Let's go.